I'm Rob.
I'm E.
I'm Stas THEE Boss.
My name's the time, God blessing and giving all the praise. You bitch a penny like infinity hard to wait. That's all you getting, no you didn't come the ball today. Made a call today, she tryna risk it all today. Graded all the things and all you do was fall and lay. Always start the race, I get the ball, I call the play. You get my water, sweep the hardwood and you hardly paid. You got a barter, got a auger for a scrap of game. Rally and campaign, trying to gather fans for fame. Really sad, ashamed to watch you have to ask and beg for them to like your page so you can feel a tiny praise. When deep inside you were dying to get what I became.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the next movement, folks. Very glad to have Stas the Boss in the building, so to speak, in the Zoom room.
Yes, good to be here. Thank you for having me. Had all my homies on here.
Yeah.
All of them.
Running down the checklist.
Yeah.
One of the things that caught our attention recently was the announcement that you were the person who composed the music for Dream Hampton's new film. It was all a dream.
Yeah.
I saw on social media you described this as a dream of your own to be able to do this work. So how did this happen? What's the story behind it?
So, I met Dream Hampton 2009 through a friend, and she was really cool with my manager, and asked if she could direct our These Satisfaction's first music video for Queens. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. Video is phenomenal. We haven't seen it. Check it out. And then we've been friends since then. She's been doing a couple of films, documentary films and little shorts. But this one, she reached out to me specifically. She was like, I really only want to work with you on this, just because how close it is to her. And I was like, yeah. I've been wanting to work with film for a while, just see how my music would fit in there, or be like a music supervisor or something like that. But it was perfect how it came together.
The documentary has been described as a visual memoir reflecting on the dawn of the golden era of hip hop.
That's
I'm guessing working on this project inspired you to think about your own relationship with hip hop and how it's impacted you. When you were making the music for the film, how did you ensure that the sound you were creating both complemented Dream's narrative and held space for your own voice?
Yep. So Dream, she knows my sound is derived from that era. So I think that's also why she went with me. But I grew up with 90s hip hop. All the people that she featured in the film, all the artists, they were my idols. So it just made sense to kind of think about that time, what was going on, the feelings, where people were pulling from, and then also think about now and how that sound is derived and changed in a little bit. So she wanted me to kind of yes, be nostalgic, but not super nostalgic, pull from what's happening now, like drill, stuff like that. So I kind of mixed the two.
Yeah. Did working with Dream on this project unearth new perspectives on hip hop culture for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she was right there for a lot of the stuff. And, there's just a lot of things popping up now that, we didn't know what's going on back then. So it's been interesting to see it now.
The Atlantic did a piece on Dream last August, and they called her hip hop's fiercest critic. In the piece, she says to this interviewer, hip hop has turned out to be a tool of the same unequal, exploitative system it once defied. In the beginning, the music had a certain joy and uplift, even as it was grounded in the funk and the mire of the country where it was born. Rap seemed to be reaching for something, but maybe the sin was that it was reaching to be part of America. I agree with Dream and other folks like Timo Tepaku who have expressed similar thoughts. It's a really hard pill for me to swallow. I'll speak personally. I do find hope in artists like you because your music embodies what hip hop has lost on a larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there are groups of people who are putting in a lot of work to make music that rebels against the shift in hip hop. So does contributing to this effort and being a community with folks who are doing this keep you invested in the culture?
Yeah, I'm not going nowhere, you know. It's in me, it's on me, but I do recognize that, you know, there's a lot of bad shit that's
Yeah.
been just going on, still continuing to go on. I
Yeah.
counter that with, you know, just me making music is countering that.
Mm,
'Cause I'm not with that shit. But yeah, I don't envision like getting out of it or away from it.
yeah.
You're credited as the composer, which makes me think that we won't necessarily hear your voice. Is that
Oh yeah, you're gonna hear
okay?
me.
All right, all right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm on a bunch of the songs here and there. Got some friends that helped as well.
Nice.
So you'll hear just a little bit, not too much, but
Okay,
definitely, yeah.
nice.
Hmm.
Looking forward to hearing that. The last project we've gotten under your name, unless I'm wrong, I think was 2022's on the Corner, which was so dope and just happened to come out at the time when I was particularly obsessed with Miles Davis on the Corner. But as I was preparing for this interview, I kept trying to think of a way to ask you why you don't release more music without sounding like accusatory or entitled. And then a couple of days ago, you tweeted that you were doing more features. You said you're happy to be writing again, been out of ink for a couple of years. So it kind of felt like my entry point there. The tweet makes it sound like you've experienced a sort of writer's block. Is that how you would frame it?
Yeah, yeah. I guess I needed some time away from music. I also been like, I uprooted myself. I was in New York and now I'm back in the Pacific Northwest and didn't really like have like a space to like think about writing or making beats. So I like naturally try and take a break, and then when it comes back, it'll come back. I don't try to force it at all. But I kept accepting all these features. I was like, yeah, I'll get on your song, and having people wait 3 years until my shit is ready. Yeah, nah, I am very very patient and very I'm like D'Angelo. I'm like Three Stacks. I'm not gonna make an album every year. I'm not gonna make a song every day, and that's fine if you are that kind of artist. I can't do that.
Mm,
Yeah.
respect that.
Mhm.
I imagine part of that is because, as we said off mic before we started, you're doing a lot of other stuff too.
Yes, that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may have answered this question already, but when you have had this, or you've been in this place where you're kind of struggling to find the words or to write, like what's typically helpful to you?
It's usually like when I'm really happy and having a good time in life is when I can't write.
Mm.
So the answer to that would be a self-sabotage might pull me on the pen, you know? And I've done that. Like, I don't know why. It just, that's what brings me back.
Mm.
Or somebody will upset me or something crazy will happen out the blue. I wish I didn't have to write out of pain, but I don't know.
Mm.
I just feel like that's where my best work is.
Mm, I don't think you're alone in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've talked to so many artists who, writing is cathartic. It's like therapy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
One of the things I appreciate most about your production is that it feels like a celebration of Black music. When I listen to it, I don't get the sense that you're sampling pieces of music simply because you like them or they fit a particular theme. It feels more powerful than that. Do you include Black sounds and voices to uplift and honor the history of the community, hoping to expand on the legacy it's left?
All day. I do that. I was just telling my girl the other day, like I feel like it's not even me pulling it. Like I feel like it's like my
Yeah.
uncle who passed, my grandmother. I feel like there's like other people like my ancestors like tapping me like, yo, this one,
Yep.
you know, like it feels way deeper than like me scrolling or flipping through vinyl.
Yeah. You can absolutely hear that.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yes. I like to hear that.
Yeah. So shifting gears just a little bit, I know that you are a big Octavia Butler fan, as am I,
Woo!
and you've incorporated some of her work into your own. So she did this interview back in 2000 with Charlie Rose. I'm sure you saw it, but one of the first questions he asks her is, "Why science fiction?" And Octavia responds by saying, "Because there are no closed doors, no walls."
Mhm.
Have you felt a similar freedom when creating music?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I try my hardest not to put up any like walls or boundaries when I'm making. You know, I say I like to try everything twice to see if I like it or not. I'm not gonna not do something just because someone tells me it's not okay or not good. Like,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, music, my first love, so I gotta honor her and,
Mm.
and go as far as we can go with it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, sort of staying on Octavia Butler and the like science fiction tip for a minute. You're part of the Black Constellation Collective, along with Shabazz Palaces and several others. The interest in science fiction and the interstellar clearly found its way into your music as well as these other artists. The vocals in much of your solo work sound like they were beamed down from some future galaxy, um, like the flyest galaxy imaginable. How conscious of you? How conscious are you of the way this allows you to stand out from other artists?
Yeah, I'm me. It's my sound, and I've definitely seen people take and, you know, flip it and do their own thing with it, but no one's going to have my sound. You know, like it's pulled from many places, which you guys touched on, Octavia Butler, Sun Ra. It's pulled from Georgia and Mojo. It's pulled from, you know, people who are Badu. But I feel like the way I do it is no one's gonna be able to do that. The way that I flip it is very
Yeah.
unique, and I sometimes get discouraged with how oversaturated things are
Hmm.
and just how hard it is to kind of stand out these days. 'Cause everyone's doing it. But I the little bit of hope that I have is that I'm unique enough.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned your vocals. You do some interesting things with your vocals. And a lot of it, I don't know exactly what's happening, but some of it sounds like it's like studio magic, like you like dubs and manipulating your vocals a bit. I
Hmm.
mean, can you talk a bit about your approach to like recording, mixing those vocals?
Yeah, I'm horrible at mixing. I go to my guy Eric Blood, who I've been working with since 2010. But I feel like vocally, I've always wanted to sound kind of like a mixture of Shaka Khan and Guru.
Mm.
And then also the way that I layer it, like I want you to hear it from every angle. So I
Yeah.
try and make sure that some stuff you'll only hear on the right, some stuff you'll only hear on the left, some stuff it'll feel like it's coming from here. Like I feel like I pay attention to where sound is coming from a lot.
Mm.
Mm.
Shaka Khan and Guru. Watch what you're
Yep.
saying. Oh, I fucking
Bam.
love that track. Yeah.
Yep. Bam.
I would guess that most of the folks tapping into this conversation will probably know that you were once part of a duo called The Satisfaction.
Hopefully.
Well, they know now. I've heard you talk about how important and special this experience was for you then and now still. I'm wondering about the journey you've been on in the years since you became a solo artist and what this process has been like for you. After leaving the group, did it feel like you had to search for and develop parts of yourself along the way to build your artistry into what it is today?
Mm, a little bit. Yeah, I never really saw myself as being a solo artist.
Mm.
So like it was a little scary for me when I first started to like do my own thing. But I feel like dissatisfaction, like I was the production, so I didn't feel like I needed to like create a different sound because that sound is gonna be in me regardless of what I do. It's my sound.
Yeah.
Um, but it was hard to think about just myself. Like I'm a team player. I like feeding off of, you know, people and giving and giving. So it's just, yeah, it was scary to just be like, okay, what do you want? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? But
Yeah.
also free, also very free.
Along those lines, I'm wondering about other artists and your relationship with them and how they may have helped you develop as a solo artist. I mentioned Shabazz Palaces earlier. You're featured on the lead single, I think it was the lead single from their newest project, Exotic Birds of Prey. The track is called Angela. What impact has your relationship with Ishmael Butler had on you?
Woo! Man, huge, obviously.
Yeah.
So much of my life and my life's work and my energy and vibe is just like directly connected to him. The way we met was just like, it was divination, straight up divine, everything. The way everything has come together, the way we still interact. Like sometimes I'll just be thinking about him and then he'll text. Like it's just like so innate. But yeah, I'm constantly always challenged and inspired, watching, taking notes. Anytime he drops a gem, I'm there to pick it up. I'm a student, so yeah, much respect, much love.
Yeah, definitely. I was telling E before we started, I kind of feel like you're in a unique position, having this connection to Ish, but also connection to newer artists like Nappy Nina and Air, Masai, J Words. I'm wondering what connecting to those artists has done for you and your creativity.
Man, I feel like I'm super duper blessed to be in that position, to have like both sides of hip hop eras. But Nina, Jen, Masai, they're like so out there, but they remind me of when I was younger as well. So it's just like they have their ear to the street, but they're so far ahead too. So it's just nice to be in the same kind of tribe as them, to be thinking in the same way. Yeah, I love working with them. I love hanging out with them, just hearing them talk. Like they're super funny. Like I love being around funny people. They're all funny comedians, like all of them. But yeah, it just feels good and natural.
Yeah, that comes across in the music.
Yeah.
Another tribe you're part of is the Sway and Swoon DJ Collective.
Yeah, nah, they're crazy.
So this collective is one that celebrates and gives space to the queer community, particularly Black and brown folks, through the events that y'all host. And as a Black queer person, I am always deeply appreciative and inspired by these initiatives because there aren't a lot of safe places that we can go as groups. So shout out to y'all because this is much needed and an extremely important thing. When you think about the goal of Sway and Swoon, do you find yourself wanting to offer community in a similar way through the music you create? Do you feel like you do that?
Yeah. We that's why we existed out in Seattle. Shout out to Yadi and shout out to Just Moni, the other two members. We all grew up together in Seattle, and a lot of people don't know that there are Black people in Seattle. We grew up in the Black neighborhoods in Seattle. We're a very tight-knit crew. But obviously, if there's nowhere for non-Black people to go, like to queer people to party in Seattle, it's very much smaller for Black people to go and find somewhere, Black queer people. So we were like, let's do it. Let's make an event, throw an event. We threw one event. So many Black queer people showed up. But we didn't just want it to be just for, because not all our friends are queer. They're allies. And
Sure.
we were playing good music. So they're like, can we come? We're like, I guess, you guys can slide, but be respectful, and it's never been no funk. And we've been doing that this is going to be like our 7th Pride that we've done. And it's just getting bigger and bigger every year, and just massive. We did a program with the kids. Sway and Swoon Loves the Kids. We brought in like some of our entrepreneur homies. We had Ishmael there teaching them. We had like DJs to come in, workshops, food, everything at KEXP where I work. And that was beautiful as well. But yeah, we just see a need and we try and, help out.
I love it. If you ever come to the East Coast, the collective.
Oh yeah. We'll let you know for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, when I lived in New York, we used to throw like little Sway and Swoon little parties. Team up with Brooklyn Boyhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I love it. I listened to an interview that you did a couple years ago for the Fresh Off the Spaceship podcast series, and you say something at the very beginning of the conversation. You say you have a tumultuous relationship with music. So fast forward 2 years later, do you still feel that way? And if you do, what makes this true for you?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, just how I have to write when I'm in pain, and that's the best music that comes from it. Also, just working in music, and at the time, I had a job where I had to listen to music all day long and categorize it, and it was kind of making me hate listening to music.
Yeah.
And I also work at the radio station too, which is great. It's fun, and I'm constantly listening to new music and sounds to incorporate in my show. But it's also like now in my free time, I only want to hear podcasts because I don't want to hear music. I have to.
Yeah.
So when it turns into a job, it's really difficult
Yeah.
to have the same love for it.
I think we can relate on a level. Not the
Yeah,
same level, but
Yeah, I was gonna say I doubt it's anywhere near the levels that you experience, but there's certainly been times doing this that I've been like, man, all I listen to is music for the podcast, and that's that gets me down.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tiring,
Yeah.
It's tiring.
All right, so we mentioned your solo work. We mentioned The Satisfaction, Black Constellation Collective, Sway and Swoon DJ Collective, KEXP. I saw recently you were helping select artists for Tiny Desk concerts. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
Facts. Yes. I did do that.
Well, that's a lot of things. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
When the rain hits my window, I take in me some Indo. Me and Timberland, ooh, we sang a jangle. We so tight that you get our styles tangled. Sway your do-si-do like you loco. Can we get kinky tonight like Coco? So, you wanna play with my yo-yo? I smoke my hydro on the D-Lo.
I can't stand her. It's my window. I can't stand her. It's my window. I can't stand her. It's my window. I can't stand her. It's my window.
Beep, beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep?
All right, so let's change speeds a little bit and turn our focus to Missy Elliott, Supa Dupa Fly.
Fly.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, I'm kind of shocked that we're 5 years into this, and no one has picked this album yet.
I was so happy.
Glad to be able to talk
Oh,
about it.
sorry.
Yeah.
me fucking too. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the answer to this might be too obvious that I almost hesitate to ask it, but what made you pick Supa Dupa Fly?
I always talk about this album anytime anyone asks, time anyone don't ask. I've been talking about this album too much. It's why I started rapping. It's like a family favorite. Like in my mom, my brother, my sister, we all bump this. Like it's just like it's so much a part of my life. Yeah. Even down to like one of the first times I sampled.
Nice.
Yeah.
Missy does have that like family appeal, like across generations. It's interesting.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that's so interesting that you said that, because me and my sisters love her. I mean, this is like part of our childhood.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, she's still part of our lives, but like when we think about just like memories over the years, like Missy is a huge part of that. Yeah.
Huge. Yeah, I there was just something about, like, I remember the album art, and I think I had to buy the edited version because I don't think I was old enough to listen to the curse words at the time.
That would have been me too.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I didn't know I was gay. I didn't really know what gay was. Like, I knew I was different. But seeing Missy, like, and she's not even fully out or whatever, which is whatever. But
Yeah.
but I just knew there was just something that I was just like, as a kid, I was like, yeah, something about this. I need to listen.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you if you consider her a queer icon.
Yeah.
I definitely do. Like her and Queen Latifah for me when I was a kid, like man, they were everything.
Yeah, I
Everything.
mean, it was a short haircut, the baggy clothes. It was stud
Yeah.
cute, you know. I was a
Yeah.
little baby stud. I was like, I want to look like that.
Same.
That's what I want to look
Same.
like.
Fly as fuck. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you remember the first time you heard the album?
Yeah, yeah. I when did this come out? 98?
Hmm.
98. Yeah. Um, so I was 13, and when I was 13, me and my best friend, we would go to the library and rent the CDs and like listen to them and then find the lyrics on like lyric.com and like print out the
Oh
lyrics
man.
and read them. So this one, I feel like it was one of those library CDs. That was the first time I heard it at the library.
Love the library CDs.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I still occasionally look at the CDs on the rare occasion
Yeah.
that I'm at the
Yeah.
library.
It's a good resource.
Yeah.
You are taking me back, yo. I'm not even here right now. I feel like I just jumped in a time machine and I'm back
You
there.
know, I had to take you there.
Lyric.com.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Kids today don't know.
It's crazy.
They don't know the struggles we
Yeah.
have to go through.
Yo, but my mom used to find my shit from lyrics.com and I will never forget when she found the lyrics to Still Not a Player and she was
Hey.
so pissed.
Oh.
She was so pissed.
That same exact thing happened to me. My mom found the lyrics stashed away in like a
Yup.
box or something in my room. She was like,
Yup.
"What is this?" She took my CD case, threw it in the garbage. I was like,
Yep.
"No."
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm getting this right, but you grew up in a religious household, right?
Very,
Same.
very religious.
Yeah. Yeah.
No nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mama Diane was also throwing away CDs. I think Rob has similar experience.
Ah.
Vivid memory of my dad throwing my Old Dirty Bastard CD down the driveway like it was a frisbee. Like he was so mad. I went and picked it up. It's still played. It had a couple scratches, but you know,
you retrieved it.
that's right.
Oh shit. What was your relationship with her music videos? Did she impact you visually?
Yeah, hugely. Still remember the dances from a lot of those music videos. Just so cool, so innovative. Like, I mean, Michael Jackson, Busta. Like, there's only like two other artists that were doing it like
Yeah.
that at that time. But yeah, it was a woman. You know, like I really, I was like, yeah. There's no one like her, and there's no one that's gonna be like her. The videos. My favorite one, I think, is the Beat Me 911.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're like the dolls. Like,
It's so fucking innovative for that time. Like I watched it today and I was just like, damn, like who else was doing this?
I remember Michael Jackson's videos would come on like ABC at like
Yeah.
6 p.m.
It was like a
Everybody sits
family
there.
event.
Yeah. And then-
Oh man, yeah. Jam video premiered at halftime during a Bulls
Yeah.
game. I remember.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
He was the king of videos, and Missy, I feel like after him, it was Missy and a little bit of Busta videos.
Yeah.
too.
Same.
Busta,
We've
yeah.
definitely talked about them being alike on the show before. In
Yeah.
that regard. Yeah.
I heard you say, you know, like she was the reason you started rapping. What would you say you like took from her, as far as not took from her, but like lessons you may have learned from her as an MC?
As an MC, she was very sexual and like sexually free. A lot of people don't think of her as like, you know, when they think of like pussy rap, but Missy was talking about it a lot, and I felt like that helped me feel more comfortable to do that and not feel like I have to be like conscious all day, you know? which I can do that too, but like I feel like I'm more than that. So that lyrically and just, making up words, easy, just like, very cool with how she approaches the mic. Super cool. As a producer too is another reason why I gravitated towards her because I didn't see too many women being highlighted as producers when I was growing up. And I knew off top, if I'm gonna do music, it's got to be me making the beats. I'm not gonna rely on no guy and wait on some guy to give me some beats. It's like a rap. I've seen that played out so many times. Never works.
Yeah.
So I'm about to just do it myself. And Missy was one of my favorite producers.
Yeah. You were like, I don't need no Timberland. I'll just do it myself.
Yes.
I feel like folks tend to like only focus on her as an MC or her music videos or whatever, but then overlook her work as a writer and producer, particularly for other artists.
Yeah.
Even today, like I was looking at the list and I was like, oh, I'm not sure I realized like she wrote that song or she produced that beat. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. She did a lot for Beyonce too. Like early Beyonce. Yeah.
Beyond Whitney Houston?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Incredible.
Did not know that.
We were talking before you came on, and I said to Rob, I think when I think of Timbaland and Missy's relationship, I was just like, I wonder if Stas considers Nappy Nina her Missy.
Yeah.
That kind of relationship.
Yeah, man. There's so many like duos that we look up to. That's definitely Premier, Guru, sure. Beavis and Butthead. Like, we're just like, yeah, for sure, Missy and Tembo. Yeah.
What's your position on Magoo?
Some peace. One.
Yeah.
He's a very good rapper. His voice is crazy. Like, I was always like, why does he sound like that? But it's so like unique. Like, maybe Q-Tip sound like that sometimes. But Magoo.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Magoo he was in the pocket and some of them features. He went crazy.
I really appreciate this collective that Missy assembled. Like
Yo.
Busta, Aaliyah, Timbaland, Lil Kim. Like all my favorite people are on this album.
The Brat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like from the jump off of it even. I think it's like Busta at the top of it.
The intro,
It's like screaming. Yeah.
What a way to open your solo debut.
I always like whenever I'm listening to an album, I appreciate the sequencing of it so much. And I feel like a lot of artists don't really do that as much anymore, like sequence it correctly.
Yeah.
But this sequencing was just top tier, like so good, the way each song flowed into each other.
Yeah.
It's another reason why I appreciate this album.
It is interesting though that like you don't actually hear Missy rap for a little
while.
Like Buster does the intro.
Yeah.
Kim is on the first track. I think maybe she sings a little bit on that first track, but it's like not till halfway through the first track, the second track. Not till halfway through that you finally hear her rap. It's interesting.
Yeah. I love her singing. I love her background vocals on some the features that she's done, R&B songs. Her singing is good.
I completely forgotten that she was part of a group before.
Yeah. What's the name of the group? Sister or something?
Sister, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was eating it up.
Yeah. She loves the Clark sisters, and so do I. That's
How can you not?
yeah.
Were you also influenced by Timbaland as a producer?
Yeah, for sure. I see the way that he samples his voice and like makes drum sounds is like nuts.
Yeah.
I've tried to do that. I can't. He does it. He does it so well. I just feel like I sound crazy trying to make a drum sound, but he sounds nice with it. Yeah. And his bass lines.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I was thinking today about the way he samples his voice, and I'm sure this is out there somewhere. Maybe either one of you have like heard the story, but I was just like, how do you do that? Like, what makes you? How do you get to a place where you're like, I'm just gonna breathe into this microphone and then make that into a beat. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Maybe it was whatever he was on at the time.
Why you played on me? Wasn't I good enough for you? All those other girls you've been with can do like I do. Gave you all my dough when you needed it all the time. And if you planning on leaving me again, then give me a sign.
I'm sure it was also cheap. You know, you don't pay any, licensing fees or
Yeah.
anything for that.
Right.
So it's really smart in that way.
Mm-hmm.
His beats were insane. You know what else he did that always kind of drove me a little crazy, actually, is a lot of songs, like, he would wait until, like, the last 20 seconds and flip the beat.
Yeah.
And then the song would end, and I'd be like, wait, like, I want to hear more of that. That was wild.
Yeah, he did that a lot on Indecent Proposal, I think it's the name of
Yeah.
Timberland and Magoo's first album. Yeah, that's yeah, I love that shit too. Love that shit.
He was like pumping hit after hit after hit outside of this.
Virginia was on fire, period. Like between them, the Neptunes.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
not fair.
No.
Not fair.
They, like, owned the radio waves.
Yeah.
At that, like, the height of their powers.
Yeah.
It was
That was a
very
time.
impressive.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I mean, I think a little bit, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I remember as a kid kind of being confused about the artists that Timberland chose to work with, like Bubba Sparks and P.D. Pablo, and to an extent Magoo. I was like, oh, man. You hear Jay-Z rap over one of his beats. And you're like,
Yeah.
I want more of that,
Yeah.
I
Some
wonder.
people
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Some people just be, they're like, I'll make it work regardless of who. Like, which I really could not do that. I can't let nobody on my beat sounding crazy. Like, there's no way. I'm not giving them out. Nope.
Weren't they both? I wonder if it was a Southern thing because Peter Pablo and Bubba Sparks were both from the South.
True.
So I wonder if like there was some like connection that he felt to them because of that. I don't know, but the only reason I liked their shit was because of them beats. I'll tell you
Right.
that.
Yeah, going crazy.
Yeah.
What was that one song? Ugly? Is that the Bubba
Oh,
Sparks?
Ugly. That's Bubba Sparks. Yeah.
That beat
that
is
fucking
crazy.
beat is wild,
Yo, that
wild.
beat's crazy.
Yeah. Period.
I gotta go find that and drop that at the next party. Nah, totally forgot about that one. That one was heat.
Yeah.
Yo, say what you want about. I mean, yeah. You can leave out Bubba Sparks or whatever, but that beat, you can't dismiss that shit.
When he was into that whole like Bollywood sound, or he was sampling all the Indian stuff.
Yes.
He was unstoppable. Then, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah.
Even the Aaliyah stuff, like the more than a woman, like that's in Bollywood. Yeah.
I'm thinking too
So-
about like All Y'all. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little Bollywood too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one right there too.
One of my favorite Timberland beats is Lil Kim's song off the Money Talks soundtrack. It might have been called Money Talks. and I felt like that flew under the radar. I wish it hadn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look that up. They need more soundtracks available, I think.
On streaming,
On streaming, yeah.
Yeah. There were some fucking bops on those 90s hip hop and R&B soundtracks, man.
Oh yeah.
I think I think we might be leaning towards making one for this Dream documentary.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So
Like putting out
the song,
soundtrack to it.
yeah.
Yeah. Like the stuff you composed.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
music
and
featured
then
in the film?
having people featured on the songs.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I think that would be a
I
good
would love
idea.
that.
Because I love that the soundtrack, like 90s, early 2000s. Because some of the songs wouldn't even be in the film. It would just be like
Right.
a label that came through, or like Timbaland produced it, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love that.
And it was a great way to break new artists. I mean, I feel like they
Yeah.
use that way all the
Yeah.
time. Cannot wait to see the movie,
Let me
but
know.
also hear the music. Very excited. Is there anything you want folks to know about where to find your stuff, what to look for, anything?
Yep. All my stuff under @Stas THEE Boss. All my music is on all the streaming sites. Maybe some secret hidden cuts on SoundCloud. Maybe some secret stuff on Bandcamp. I'm working on Swimming 2. It's pretty much finished. I got all my features in and just got to do some more tweaks to the songs, but I'm hoping to drop that the top of next year, if not the fall. But it's very good, and I'm so happy. I've been sitting on this album for 3 years too. Nina's just like, "When are you putting this out, please?" We're putting it out through our record label, Lucid House.
Yes.
I'm very excited, and it's been a long time coming. It's a breakup album, haha. But the breakup was a long time ago. I'm over it. I feel good, and yeah, I'm excited for that. And I thank y'all for having me. This was nice. And
Oh,
fun.
yeah. This was
Easy,
a pleasure.
you know.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah,
doing it.
really glad we could do it.
Yeah.
On KEXP, legendary station, how frequently are you on? And I'm assuming we could stream it online if we wanted to.
Yes, for sure. So I'm on every other Friday from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Pacific time. So I know that's late for y'all, but that's every other Friday. I'm usually like the first and third Fridays of the month. And then that's KEXP.org.
Lots of things to tap into and look out for.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
like, we're excited to check it all out. Again, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. Big fan of your music and your work.
Thank y'all.
All right, folks, this has been The Next Movement. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.
Getting frisky out the whiskey, throw that pussy like a frisbee. Liking me is risky, but she went in bed against me. I can make it drippy, cause she tighter than the grippy. Climbing till she cliff and get you higher than the hippie. Lately I've been drifty, feeling bluer than the grippy. Faking it but tripping, seeing who is fucking with me. Waiting for a hit to swing it through it like I'm Griffey. Patient but I'm bitter, I'm the newest Scottie Pippen. I influence, I am gifted, I too can feel diminished. Grinding like a tooth, but I do not see the dentist. Mindful in the loop, but I know that I ain't finished. Michael to the hoop in the final 2 minutes. Darker than the Guinness when I hearken to my sentence. Artist with my pimpin' out on barter trying to fit in. My heart is always in it, cash and cars won't be my